You're listening to the Comic Crusaders Podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more. What up, everybody? It's your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders Undercover Capes. Welcome to a brand new Comic Crusaders Podcast. We're continuing with awesome independent comic book creators. And today, let me tell you folks, we have an award-winning illustrator, cartoonist, graphic designer. You may know him from the Covidiot Files and the True Tales of Terror. Back, from 2020, he's on The Family, Elroy's Big Adventure, The Androids Bewildering Conflict. And he has a new project coming out via Scout Comics called Pulp Bytes, which is a trip in and of itself, which I enjoyed the hell out of. I'm honored to introduce the one and only El Señor, Mr. Pat Higgins. What's going on, brother? How are you?
Hey, how's it going, Al?
I am doing awesome, bro. Thank you for coming on and taking time out of your day to chat about your journey, comic books, and Pulp Bytes, which, I told you, I read that first story. Let me tell you, the title definitely had me stating the title at the end. Like, what an asshole. Like, whoa. Cool stuff. Your sense of humor, your artistic style, amazing. Definitely stuff that's right up my alley. So, Pat, let's get right into it, man.
Right into it.
Where you hail from? Where you from originally? What's your background?
Originally, I'm from Michigan, but spent most of my life in Delaware. And that's where I'm at now. So, Wilmington, Delaware. What
is this with Michigan? I've spoken to several creators that tend to be Michigan. What's in that water out there?
Lead.
Apparently, it's helping you in your careers, though. Jeez. Yeah. Wow. Okay, so let's get into your origin story now. You're an amazing illustrator. You're doing some awesome stuff out there. But how did you even get into the fandom in and of itself? What was your first, look into the fandom? Whether it's from the comics or movies or cartoons. What was your first taste?
Yeah, I think originally what got me into, fandom of cool stuff is Star Wars when I was a kid.
Oh, Star Wars. Okay.
When I was 2, I could, name all the characters. I knew all the words to the movies. That was my thing. And then, from there, I ended up picking up. I think my first comic was a Tales from the Crypt reprint that I got at a book fair at school. I have no idea why that was at the book fair at school because that was definitely not appropriate. That was my comics.
I just want to say a shout out to your school for putting stuff like that on the tables. Jeez, that's pretty cool. That is cool though. I mean, I was picking up some wild stuff, but never on that level of wild. I wish. And again, my discoveries all came through Mama, and then afterwards, I journeyed on my own, if you will. So, what was one of your, besides the Tales from the Crypt, was there any part, what stood out to you actually? Yeah, what stood out to you from the Tales of the Crypt that made you pick up that bad boy?
The covers first. Just the creepiness, the grotesqueness of it. Once I got into Star Wars, all the aliens and stuff. After that, like anything with like aliens, monsters, like it always drew me in.
Oh,
so I was always a fan of the monsters.
So I'm curious there then. I mean, if you're into all that monsters and gore, I mean, do you have any favorite film of yours that you love? A cult movie or anything to that effect in the horror realm?
Yeah, funny enough, it has nothing to do with monsters in the horror realm, but kind of. But Evil Dead.
Oh, I love
not
that
so
movie.
Crazy monsters or anything, but Evil Dead, I think, is still my favorite horror movie.
Okay, I gotta ask here because I'm a huge Evil Dead fan. I loved it when I got to see it, old school on a videotape. It had that feel. Once I saw this thing on a cleaned up DVD where they they enhanced the look of it. It looked like a soap opera. It's like you disappointed me. Did you go through that experience?
Yeah, a little bit. It looks better on that VHS, you know.
Yes, we need the graininess, please. We need it on tape. I mean, once it got to the DVD, I had the dopest looking cover for the DVD though. It's actual artwork, so it's a clear
One with
cover.
the icon.
Yeah. I mean, it's gorgeous. I have that, stashed. That's mine. I never let go of that bad boy.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So let's start talking about the journey then. So, you got into comics. You got, your first taste was in the horror world, via Tales from the Crypt. When did you decide to start, even doing your own stuff?
It was, when I was younger, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to school to be a comic artist.
So you knew you wanted this from the get.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then, after talking with my parents and stuff, they kind of talked me into going to school for illustration rather than comics. So it was a more, realistic approach. There's more opportunity there, I guess. I don't know. But I ended up now finishing school and did a lot of newspaper ad design and stuff like that. Kind of went in the more graphic design direction just because that's how I was making money. And from there, started doing a lot of freelance illustration stuff and, kind of got back into it, kind of fell in love again with drawing and making comics and stuff.
So what got you back into the love, after your departure?
I was getting really burned out on making used car ads for newspapers. So I started doing, doing more freelance stuff that was more, I was taking on the jobs that were more creative. And that kind of got that spark reignited. And I started doing more freelance illustration stuff. And from that, I was like, I don't know, something hit me one day that, I should be making comics again. Just like when I was a kid. I just started doing it again. And that's where I'm at. Still do, quite a bit of illustration stuff.
So when you started on the journey of making comics, did you find your journey to be difficult? Were there any obstacles when you were now trying to go back and do something that you loved as a kid? And now, okay, I want to do this professionally because this was my goal.
I think it's hard no matter what. There's always challenges, there's always new things to learn. I think one thing that really helped along the way was all that graphic design background. Like learning that print production stuff, learning that end of it. I think that was a huge help to, getting through a lot of stuff. There's always stuff to learn.
Oh yeah. Listen, the journey is always you learning, because if you don't learn something, each day, then, was it a good day? I've spoken to creators saying that they've been on projects that they felt ultimately challenged in, like, how the heck? And then once they got over that hill, it's like, holy crap, I just learned a whole bunch of new stuff. Have you felt like that on your journey?
Oh, absolutely. All the time. I try to learn as much as I can, as often as I can. I think that's one of the most rewarding things about, any of this stuff, whether it's graphic design, whether it's illustration, whether it's cartooning, it's learning new stuff, and that's the best feeling you can get.
So is there any difference between what you were doing prior, in that more professional sense versus you doing the comics? Was there any changes that you had to make, stylistically to, separate the two?
Oh, absolutely. When I was doing like newspaper ads and stuff, that was a lot of very uncreative,
stale and
cutting
boring.
out cars, putting 30 used cars in an ad this big,
Okay.
And there wasn't very much creativity to it. Whereas like, the comic stuff, there's, it's 100% my brain going into it, my hands going into it. And the illustration stuff is kind of a mix between those two. Some clients give me free reign, get weird with it, whatever. And then some clients have this very narrow, specific vision of what they need done. So it's kind of a cool thing to, like, deal with all aspects of it like that.
Oh, definitely. I was speaking with Janice Chang this morning. It's like, yeah, it's about the clients, making sure you're there for them and taking care of the project and the task at hand in a timely fashion, of course. But then you got your side gigs. I mean, do you still do that on that professional level while you're still doing, the comic book stuff?
Oh yeah. 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 I'm doing some really cool, illustration jobs right now. One's for a brewery that I haven't worked with before, which I was really excited to work with because it was one that was on my list.
And it's a brewery. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can have some fun with the art on that bad boy.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So they're pretty. That was one of those jobs where they, it's not full free reign. There is somebody that kind of reels me back in a little bit.
A little bit, but they gotta trust in Higgins.
Yeah.
The Higgins method. That's what we're gonna call it, the Higgins method. All right.
Yep.
So what was your first project?
Ooh, that's a good question. I can't remember.
How many years ago? Do you know that far?
Yeah, around when I started doing freelance stuff, it was probably around 2000, 2002, maybe.
Okay. So you've been in the game for a minute right now, doing your thing. Nice. That's great. And how did you even, finally step into that realm of doing comics?
I'm gonna say I was reading a lot of comics. I was listening to podcasts about comics, and I was like, why am I not doing this anymore? And I just kind of jumped in and started doing it again. Started with, doing like, mini comics, like the, photocopy it, staple it, that kind of thing.
Oh, the old school method.
Yeah.
What do these kids know about that stuff? They don't know about this stuff. Now they could go to Staples, print, collate, get it done. We had to do some real harder work back then, son.
You gotta get one of these.
Oh my God.
That long stapler, man.
Look at that, folks. Show that again. Look at it. Jesus Christ, yo. That's like a 2-footer.
Yeah.
That's amazing. All right, so I want to bring up this because you're doing some awesome stuff. Where is he? Oh, of course, this is how the technology works, folks. Let me move my screen. It is so fun when I try to do these because I want to show the world what it is that you're doing. All right, so we're gonna take first a quick look, if you will, at the Covidiot file. And why that? How did you get inspired by that one?
Well, I was just getting frustrated with how stupid people were being, and rather than get mad about it, just draw some pictures. And
let me embarrass them over here on a nice visual medium somewhere. Right?
All right.
I love it. Let's do it, yo, with the awesome Pat Higgins here. All right. So look at that file. Look at that cover. Fuego. So explain to me. I mean, this is you, right? Story, the illustrations, everything, right? Beginning to end.
Yep. Beginning to end, top to bottom.
What's with the cover here, bro? Look at it.
The cover's, everybody trapped in their house during March 2020, I guess it all started.
Yeah.
With their toilet paper rolls and their whole family just, ready to burst out. But I was just getting, frustrated with everything and how stupid people are being. So I just took it out on the paper. Figured that'd be more useful than anything else. Much
more useful because if you talk about it on social, they ban you. So if you're sharing misinformation, of course. And I love how the cat seems to be the most relaxed out of all of them.
Yeah, always is.
Oh my God, is this Karen? Oh man, it is. Quarantini. Explain.
This was kind of the, those anti-vax people. Unfortunately, they're still around more than ever. But yeah, this was at the start of it. I think this might have been March or April of last year. I just started hearing all this, people not gonna, not afraid of it, not afraid to get their kids sick, all that stuff. And, just took the stereotype of all these different kind of people, threw them together, and there we got Karen Quarantini.
Karen Quarantini. Holy shit. That's definitely a great Karen mask. I definitely want to see this. And I want to say your art style, I mean, especially when I'm looking at the kid, it's so old school Mad style as well. Thanks. Were you a fan of Mad growing up?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. I see it, bro. I see it. And look, what happened here? Can you explain? What's going on here?
That was for a project that I kind of started and didn't finish. Okay. But that one, it may still have some life in it or death.
I see a lot of death on this screen though, and it looks so great though.
Yeah, that's kind of a war, but sci-fi. There's a sci-fi twist to it. But yeah, I think I'm gonna get back to that eventually, or I may end up turning part of it into a part of Pulp Bytes.
Oh, you should for sure. You should for sure, because I wanna know here, like the way this looks, that style. I mean, who did you look up to growing up?
All kinds of artists. I mean, like I read a lot of EC comics, like Jack Davis, Al Feldstein, Wally Wood.
Oh, damn. You were picking up some good stuff as a kid, man.
Charles Burns, Dan Klaus.
I want to know now. Okay, you said Michigan, right?
Yeah.
How big was the comic book community for you as you were growing up?
Well, I didn't grow up in Michigan.
Oh, you did there, okay.
But I grew up more in Delaware.
And so how was that community there then?
I mean, we had a comic book store, within walking distance from my house. So we always used to walk up there and get comics and stuff. And
did you have a clique? Did you group of fellow comic nerds? Because I don't know what years you went to school, but in my years, it was something that was frowned upon, But I had my clique, we were like, when no one's looking, it's like, yo, I got the new Iron Man, yo, I got the new Spidey, I got the new X-Men, was popping,
Yeah, there was a few kids in the neighborhood that they were into comics, which was cool.
That's good. Do you still collect at all?
I don't collect, but I read.
But you read. What's the gem out of your readership?
Let's see. What am I reading right now? Right now I'm reading. I just ordered a new Charles Burns one. He's coming out next week. Okay. That's the only thing I'm not excited about with that is it's in French.
Oh,
the only way to get that one is in French, so I gotta get the translator out and do that.
I'm stuck, man. I didn't learn too much in French class. All I remember is Je m'appelle Alison. Comment s'appelle-t-il? Oh, très bien. That's it. And je t'aime. So that way you got to the ladies you love them in French. They love that shit.
So I just gotta take a picture of it and send it through the translator app and stuff. But other than that, I've been reading Red Room by Ed Piskor.
Yo, isn't that fire? I had Ed Piskor when the book was about to come out. I'm folks, if anyone got the free comic book day version of Red Room, I need that. Like, please, hook it up.
Me too.
I'll pay you. I want that one. Oh, you too? Hey, man, we're competing here.
Send it to both of us.
Yo, bro, that Red Room is fire. I love it. I missed those type of anthology stories, and it's what you're doing here too. It's funny how you bring him up because you also remind me of him very much in the style of how you do things, man. And being a one-man show too, And how do you feel about hip hop? Because I know Ed Piskor, hip hop. That's how I got introduced to him, through Hip Hop Family Tree, because I love hip hop. And when I saw that there was an origin story to it in a comic book form, and that he did it, one-man show, fire.
Yeah, that was I think that was the first thing of his that I read too. Was the
nice.
Hip Hop Family Tree.
Awesome. Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, it was a really cool book.
Are you a hip hop fan?
A little bit. I'm more. I'm more into punk and hardcore, but I think hip
So
hop.
who's? Oh wait, I gotta know who's your band then in punk and or hardcore.
I'd say I mean all over the place. I like a lot of stuff. I think number one punk band though, Clash.
Oh,
It's the Clash
nice.
for sure.
Nice.
But then I mean, there's so many subgenres of punk rock, like Agnostic Front's awesome. 7 Seconds, Gorilla Biscuits.
Hey, love it. Put them on. Is this the magic that you use in the background to produce the sick stuff you do?
Yeah.
I love it. Let's get into Pulp Bytes from Scout. I mean, before I even move on, how did you connect with Scout? Scout is a great independent comic book publisher doing some awesome and amazing titles out there. I mean, folks, you don't need no DC Marvel, man. Check out some Scout stuff because they're doing some wild business. How did you hook up with them?
Yeah, they've got some cool stuff.
Yes, they do.
Well, I mean, I was going to the comic shop and I liked some of the stuff they were putting out. Liked a lot of the stuff they were putting out. But I was getting ready to start this new project, and I wanted to find the right publisher to pitch it to. And Scout was I had a couple on my list. Scout was like the number one, and so I put pitch packages together. Based on each publisher has their own really specific thing they're asking for their pitches. And so I put together these 3 pitch packages. One was for Scout and then 2 other ones. So I sent all these 3 out. And at the same time, well, first I got the no. So I got the no and I'm like, all right, whatever. And then at the same time, Scout and the other one sent me the thing. And I liked more of the stuff that Scout's putting out. So I just, I gave them the yes, and we, talked about it. We went over the details and all that, and yeah, here we are. And then,
so can I ask, just out of curiosity's sake, does Scout treat their independent creators great? Because we've already seen what's going on with Action Lab and a whole bunch of nonsense there.
Oh no, I didn't know about that.
Oh no, Action Lab is you. Please look it up after, and you're probably gonna get livid and probably do a different book, and you're probably gonna make some commentary on that. I'm pretty sure that you're gonna get livid about it. But how awesome does Scout treat their independent creators?
Good, because you own the intellectual property. So
they're not taking ownership of your IP.
Right.
Beautiful.
Right. You keep ownership of your IP, which is, I think that's very important.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started researching, different publishers and stuff, they were one of the ones that, you keep your IP, you own that.
Beautiful. So they're basically helping you with the publishing of the title, right, marketing and stuff. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, when you sign a deal like that, they have exclusive rights to publish. But it's
which is fine, but it's still yours.
Yeah.
See, unlike what happened with Action Lab, apparently, a good friend of the network, I just made a comment on that. Like, they weren't really after comic books; they were just after IP. And the example that I've said even before, a creator from their team, from that organization, wanted their property back, and they were told, "Well, you need to give us over 11,000 and change." Plus pay diamond shipping fees that we incurred if you want it back to ownership. How do you feel about that type of response?
I think it sucks, man.
the poor guy, his response to that was, well, I guess I don't own that shit anymore.
Yeah, essentially.
And how sad is that? How sad is that because they should understand, like, you guys are creators. You're trying to build something. And when it just gets ripped from you, like, how can you even afford to fight back? Lawyers ain't cheap.
Yeah, that's terrible. Wow. But yeah, that was one of the things I liked about Scout was that,
awesome.
You retain ownership of your intellectual property.
That's fantastic. Shout out to Scout for doing that. And look at this amazing cover. I mean, and why did you choose this dude? This it really does look like some dude that we just see at some bar nowadays here in Florida, sitting with his phone all by himself.
Yeah, that was kind of the initial kind of character design for one of the main characters in there.
Okay.
God, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but the main character in Asshole Larry, the first story.
Oh my God! Let me tell you, brother, that I ended that story saying, "Oh my God, what an asshole!" I was like, "Job done, bro." Did he get his name right? Holy smokes! Let's get into it. There he goes. I mean, look at this artistic talent of yours, bro. And why did you choose to do it this way too, with that kind of the yellowish old school look of the paper?
Kind of to, pay homage to the stuff I kind of like reading, like Tales from the Crypt. Kind of give it that gritty, grimy feel. Yeah, I think it kind of fits this kind of story, because when I think like horror, sci-fi, anthology kind of thing, I think like, dirty old EC comics. So I wanted to emulate that, but at the same time, put my spin on it,
Yeah, I love how you do the panels too here, bro. Nice, different sizes and all. The
Thanks.
emotions, the way you emote as well. I mean, bro. And explain, what's Easy Rider? Holy smoke, look at this. When you saw those greens, kid, wow.
Yeah, so Easy Rider was that was one of the ways, or one of the stories that kind of started the whole thing rolling. I did a submission to this. It's like a comic zine kind of thing that it's out of North Carolina called Inks INX. And I had this 4-page story that was in there called Easy Rider, and the whole thing behind that was that it was like an Uber ride going wrong. Or
you trying to terrorize these poor kids nowadays?
But yeah, that was kind of the start to Pulp Bytes, was Easy Rider, and that was that's part of what I put in my pitch package to Scout, was part of Easy Rider.
Oh man, look at this! How many chins does he have?
Several.
Too many donuts, huh? Too many donuts. I could see that. And it's true. This is how it was. You know what? This reminds me of me growing up in New York. It was just like that. Hey, yo, what you doing? I'm like, nothing. What the hell? Going to work. What's the problem? I didn't answer like that. Officer, I'm just going to work. What's the problem? Man,
Did you end up reading that one yet? The one with the cop and the kid?
Oh, no, not yet.
Okay. I don't want to give anything away.
There's a lot of stuff here I got to read, man, because this is like getting right up my alley. And look at this. The new coats are conservative. Bro.
Yeah, that was,
and the over eyeshadow. I mean, it's exactly what you see on TV. You got that shit right on the money.
Yeah, that's part of the Covidiot Files there.
Oh, this is Covidiots.
Yeah, that's back to Covidiots, but yeah, it's kind of based on some stereotypes that are out there.
So thank you for doing an anthology, because this is something that my team and I always talk about. It's like there's not that many anthologies out there. There's just things that we grew up with, and I think this whole generation missed out on that type of setting. I mean, I grew up, like I said, Grand Book Center. I know I mentioned this several times in the past, but that was a bookstore that happened to have this whole big rack selling 3 comic books for $1. Let me tell you, I always find Chamber of Chills and stuff like that, Fear, Haunt of Fear and stuff like that. So, that only helped develop my love of horror.
Yeah.
But I missed that. It's like, what happened to the anthology? Those one and done stories. Why does everything have to be on that 2000 AD style where, well, you buy this week's magazine, the story continues on the next one? No, I want a goddamn one and done. Yeah. Then I'm gonna buy another one, because like I know that I don't have to buy the other one, but I'm gonna probably get some cool stories. So why not?
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. I mean, like, reading all the EC stuff, watching Twilight Zone all the time, when I was a kid.
Shit, boy. Twilight's almost my shit, son. I love it. And I actually
did you watch the remake though?
Yeah, you know what? He did an okay job, but I will say one thing. There was one episode where somebody had a Black Panther comic, and you know what? If you're gonna do Black Panther, please, like no disrespect to any of the new creators, but if you're gonna show a kid, show them the old school. Like they should have mentioned Kirby's name in that, because if it wasn't for Kirby, we wouldn't have Black Panther. So homage to dude, even if he wasn't black, that created the character, because he knew that it was something that was missing within the greater scope of Marvel Universe. So as a New Yorker, Kirby was very forward thinking that way. You know? So but they put Ta-Nehisi Coates. Oh, you're reading that? Yeah. I'm like, nah, though, he's not the creator, though. Great writer, but give credit to where credit's due, please. That's the king, bro. Don't fuck with the king. He helped bring a lot of things to the forefront. So, and even though maybe if he didn't want to, but he knew he lived in New York, where it was a melting pot. I spoke with that about Janice. She said, like, I would go to the office. It's like you see everybody there. So diversity was always there, but it wasn't a topic. So. With the Pulp Bytes, man, when can we expect this baby? When am I gonna hold this copy in my hands? That's what I want to know, and smell the ink off those pages.
Soon, I hope. Actually, I don't know the release date yet. So the first issue is done, approved by my editor, sent to the production team. The second issue, I hope all the art's done. I got a meeting with my editor.
Wait, tomorrow. What do you mean you hope the art's done? So you have done what you have done, but you're going to wait for the editor to say, well,
right, we're going to, okay. Yeah, we have a meeting tomorrow. So if he's got any, suggestions or anything like that, it's, I'd rather take those suggestions and make the right changes.
So being a new creator in the comic book space and coming from where you come from, are you used to taking that type of direction from an editor? I mean, have you had that experience prior? Having somebody over you, and then have you worked on projects on this scale though? Because how many pages is the book?
The first one, I think there's 28 pages of story in it.
Nice.
The second issue, I believe there's 24 pages of story. I started writing the third now. I'm not sure how many that's going to be yet. I'm kind of still, shuffling and tweaking that one. But I got thick skin. I can, beat me up. I'm used to, clients and art directors just.
I get it. I mean, in this business, if you don't have thick skin, then you're already losing.
Oh yeah. But as far as my dealing in Pulp Bytes so far, they assigned me an editor, and he's awesome.
Great.
I thought he was just gonna smash me, change this, change that. But he's real cool, man. Like, he's very here's my suggestions. You don't have to do this, but this is what I think is going to help. And I think it's a good idea to listen to those kind of suggestions, because we're all on the same page. I mean, we all have the best interest of, the book at hand. So why not work as a team,
Yeah, as you should. Absolutely. That's great. I love it. So I can't wait to get this book in our hands, because I think it's going to be absolute fire. Like I said, I read the first story, folks. Yes, it's called Asshole Larry. And at the end of that story, you're going to be like, what an asshole. I promise you. I thought about that, and I started laughing to myself when I caught myself saying that. Like, oh, shit. Mission accomplished, Pat. Damn.
I will tell you, were you ever a Three's Company fan?
Oh, of course, bro. Come on. John Ritter? Yeah. Come on, bro. Right, legend, Joyce DeWitt.
His friend Larry?
Mm-hmm. That's what he was, an asshole. Especially that episode he was about to get beat up by the girl's boyfriend because he used Jack's name.
Yeah. So that's kind of who asshole Larry was modeled after.
Oh, word. Hey, there you go. That's so funny, man. Yeah, we obviously showing our age here. I was a big fan of that show. And when John passed, bro, so suddenly when he had his new show going on ABC, I mean, that's so sad. But I'm seeing his son now come into the business. Bro, his son looks just like him.
Oh, does he really? Wow.
Yeah, yo. I mean, wow, bro. That's his clone, bro. So God bless. I hope he has a long career and a long life, bro. Because he comes from talented genes. What was the show? Sure. It was a show about a little kid with powers, and John's kid is actually, while we think he's a friend, he winds up being the villain of the show. Like, and it was a nice flip of the script, if you will. Like, oh shit, he was the bad guy all along, bastard. He did a great role. Yeah, check him out. He's a very good actor, and he looks a lot like his dad.
That's awesome.
But I definitely want to thank you for hanging out today, talking some indie, talking some horror, talking Pulp Bytes, Covidiots. There's still a lot of them out there, apparently. And as I said, get your shots, folks. Just stop the bullshit. Just get your shots. I mean,
thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
No, thank you for coming on, bro. It's been amazing. I appreciate it. And folks, I've been showing it all, but follow Pat on his website, pat-higgins.com. Follow him on Instagram, phiggins80. Oh shit! Don't tell me that's the year we were born, bro.
It is.
Holy shit! I'm a 75, bro.
Okay.
That's all right. That means we did grow up watching the same stuff. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's why we have that fandom. Fantastic. But bro, you've been a blast to have on. Please let me know as soon as the book's gonna be available at shop, so I could tell people to go support the LCS. You know, Scout Comics. Thank you for bringing on this type of content to your universe. It's humorous. I've had a blast just with the first story. I can't wait to finish the comic as soon as this interview is over. And just get into it. Wifey is like, yo, what are we gonna do? I gotta finish something first, baby. Please. So it's been great. Pat, you rock, bro. Again, pat-higgins.com. Instagram, phiggins80. Show the love. My outro tells you what to do. I'm Al Mega. Thank you, Pat, again, bro. Kick ass with everything you're doing, bro. You have a fan in me for life right now. It's a wrap.
Thanks,
all right,
man.
Nah, for real, bro. You've been amazing. Thank you for sharing your time. Folks, you know what it is. Hasta la próxima. Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders Podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.shop and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also, make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.